Hey guys, it's Veruda, bringing you another League of Legends commentary, and today we're going to be talking about Shyvana, the brand new champion. She is a half-dragon type champion. She's a lot of fun, I'll give her that, but she sucks. So, if you've tuned in to find out what I think, then we're probably done here. I'm just kidding. This champion, Skarner version 2. This is Skarner before the buffs. This champion depresses me. I don't know what else to say. I've stayed up until the patch came out. As most of you know, I like to get videos out of the new champions the day they are released. Just because not only people are searching for those, they can find my channel, they can find my other commentaries, but at the same time, people need to be informed. That's why I'm making commentaries, so that you have an idea of what's going on in my gaming experience. I want to share what I think with you guys, and you, the subscribers that I've got, nice enough to sign up to listen to me, so I want to share my opinion with you. Shyvana, not so good. For 6,300 IP, I expected a lot more, and I think that's becoming a standard for me. I expect a lot. So, when someone like Graves was released, Graves immediately, I said, play him this week, I feel he'll get nerfed. And he did get nerfed. He received some nerfs. I still think his kit is absolutely awesome, and he is a strong champion, but you know, that's just the champion as a whole. He received nerfs just like I said. Skarner receives buff just like I said. These champions, you can tell immediately when you go into games and you just do so well, but it doesn't matter. You just feel like you're dragging like 300 pounds. Yes, that was a dragon joke for Shyvana, but you feel like you're dragging tons of weight behind you. No matter how well you play, no matter how well you do, the champion holds you back, and this is a good example of a good idea. It's cool. It's a good idea. It's very, it kind of reminds me of Lycanthrope from Dota. It's just, you shift and you totally change, but at the same time you still got your same, feel. So you don't go from melee to range. There are some champions like that from like Dota and such, but that's not how this goes. This champion, you shift. It does have a rage bar. She is completely cooldown based, and you can extend those cooldowns with attack speed. We'll get into abilities and such in just a second. But like, good idea. Horrible execution. I really, really want her to get buffed. I think she's fun to play. I like playing her, but at the same time, I like winning games, and the two don't really seem to mesh so well. So, first day of experiences, painful. I stayed up until the patch hit, like I said. I had a pre-made full of people, so I was able to get a hold of her. And as most of you may know, it can be difficult to get your hands on a champion in a normal game. People just dodge immediately if you didn't get the champion you want to play. It can be frustrating. You're not going to see her in ranked games. I'm in like the 1640s right now. I know that's not that high, but it's high enough that people aren't going to just experiment with the champion. So if I wanted to see some Shyvana play, I had to play it in normals, and that was very frustrating. So again, I want to apologize that this game's not perfect. I wanted to get it out to you guys, and we're going to go ahead and start talking about the champion now. So Shyvana's Q is basically an on-hit attack modifier. What you're going to do is you're going to auto-attack, then reset that auto-attack using your Q to deal double damage. And basically the flavor on her is so cool. Her hands are the two halves of the dragon skull, and they clamp onto your opponent, so they strike kind of like the dragon's biting them, called Twin Bite. Very cool. I like the flavor. Works really well with like Wits In and Sheen, on-hit attack modifying type items. Very strong choices as far as that goes. Shyvana's W is my absolute favorite ability in all of League of Legends. It's simply genius. It's so good. This is the only redeeming fact of this champion. Basically, it's a circle of fire around you. It's kind of like Mundo's Flame. It's a free Sunfire cape. But what it does is it gives you bonus movement speed, so you can stay on top of your opponents. This champion is very movement speed based, and it's very important to be mindful of resetting that. And as I said before, we'll get into her passive and how it affects these abilities in just a second. Her E is called Flame Breath, and simply it's a skill shot ability that marks and reduces the armor of your opponents. So that is a, I don't want to say a great ability because I wish it was targetable. The skill shot during the middle of these clustery team fights can be a bit difficult, but I would understand if it would be a little on the overpowered side if it were able to be just targeted. It would make it very easy to get past tanks that are trying to protect carries. So maybe it's balanced, maybe it's not. Not that great of an ability, but it's definitely useful, especially in pairing with the passive again. Shyvana's R is called Dragon's Descent, and basically she just turns into a badass dragon. All of her abilities, she's kind of similar in Nidalee in this way, all of her abilities gain an extra ability. So her Q, although it would be her two hands clasping together to do damage, now when she's a dragon, will cleave in front of the dragon. Her W does still give you the speed bonus, but now it gives you this fiery trail, as you can see there. And her E is that conal fire effect you saw. It's no longer just a single target skill shot that hits the first thing. It can hit everybody in that conal area. So that's very nice in the team fights. There are a lot of incentives to shift to Dragon. There are a couple things you need to keep in mind with it. She does get double her defensive bonuses. So armor and magic resist are doubled in that form, making her naturally tanky. But when you shift to Dragon, you don't just change in one spot. You actually fly towards a target location, shifting into the Dragon as you go. It's a really cool animation. You've seen it a couple times in this video already. Very cool. I like the way that works. My only issue is it's not very clear about the subtext on the ability. And now what that says is that whenever you shift, you will actually push people with you. And that doesn't seem to be very controllable. It's kind of like you're just pushing people to the side. It's not like you could shove people up against a wall or anything. It's very hard to control. As you see here, I'm going to shift into Dragon. Although I went down, you didn't see Gangplank come out of that bush. It just, that part of it doesn't feel right. Maybe they should just remove it. I'm not sure. There must be a reason to put it in there, and maybe you guys can tell me. Leave a comment below if you do know. Otherwise, shifting to a Dragon makes you feel incredibly powerful. As I've said before, I really like when champions feel the way they're supposed to. Like Riven, when you get that sword back, you feel like a badass. When you shift to Dragon with this champion, you feel incredibly powerful. But when it's taken away, you do feel kind of weak. Now, she is based off of this unique rage system, as you see there, that bar. Every time you auto-attack, you gain 1 stack of the rage. Every time you are out of combat for 1 second, you also gain a stack of rage. So you can be a pacifist running around, and as you see here, I'm getting pissed off and I'm gaining rage. But at the same time, if you're close, like if I were to jump into a team fight at 90, I'd get a couple hits in there real fast and then shift to Dragon. So you can be watching it, you can be mindful of it. Attack speed is the way to go on this champion, and that's really because of her passive. Her passive is called Fury of the Dragonborn, and it's very simple, yet it sounds completely overly complicated. We're going to go ahead and go over it real quick and explain how it interacts. So, Twin Bite your Q, if you remember that one. Basically, you're going to snap your hands together and hit them for double damage. Anytime you auto-attack, you will reduce the cooldown of this ability by half a second. So, starts out on a very long cooldown, but if you're auto-attacking, you're going to get it back up quickly. You want to use it on top of somebody. You want to just keep DPSing them down. It is one of your main sources of damage, so of course you want to auto-attack it and get it back up. So, reset your auto-attack with your Q, reset your Q with your auto-attack. Very synergetic, very, I don't want to say good. I don't want to say good. It makes sense. They work well together. Her burnout, her W, as you saw, it's that flame circle there. It has a very short duration, but anytime you auto-attack with it up, it will extend that duration by a second. You can also extend it up to 6 times, and so by the end of the game, when you're at max level and you have max ranks of everything, plus a little bit of cooldown reduction, you should be able to keep it up most of the time during team fights, and especially if you're in Dragon form, you will be laying down some serious AoE in the middle of these team fights as you're chasing down carries. Very synergetic again. I don't want to say it's great, but the passive works well with that. It definitely is a good thought. Her Dragon's Breath, basically it's that single shot, that E, remember that skill shot that you're hitting somebody with? You want to auto-attack them immediately after because it deals bonus damage. So, you want to E them, auto-attack them, do bonus damage, reset your auto-attack with your Q, and then auto-attack to get your Q back up, all the while keeping your W rolling with that free damage. So, her passive seems to work very well with her other abilities. I just feel her other abilities are a little lacking at this point. Now, the interaction between the passive and her ultimate is anytime she attacks, she gains that +2 Fury, and she gains Fury over time, as I mentioned earlier. So, if you're auto-attacking, if you're in Dragon form, you can extend that duration because you will not be just milking the bar slowly down. You will be gaining some, so if you see me in teamfights, sometimes dipping down to like 70%, gaining it back to 100, that's because I'm auto-attacking really quickly. So, you get to keep your defensive bonuses, that makes it very strong. Personally, for me, I think her passive is good. That being said, I feel her passive is just an excuse to not make an overpowered passive. Now, that sounds like a pretty harsh statement, but it's true. All of these sub-abilities, the auto-attack reduces the cooldown on your Q. That could have just been part of the Q ability. Why did it have to be the passive? I feel they're fearful of releasing too strong a champion. Graves is a very good example of the passive just being so good that it was kind of game-changing. There was no reason to pick any other AD carry, especially with the way the meta is playing right now. People are playing that AD carry versus AD carry bottom, and so when you're stuck up against someone that's going to be doing physical damage, bonus armor guaranteed for just auto-attacking is so strong. So I feel they were too afraid of making a big move with her passive. I get that. There's a lot of tournaments coming up. I feel they're playing one patch back. Maybe I'm confused on that. Let me know. I understand where they're coming from, but from a marketing standpoint, and a lot of people accuse them of being, money hoarding Riot Games, they just want your money. From a marketing standpoint, if you make something overpowered, I totally agree with that because you'll sell more. People will be like, oh my god, you have to pick up Graves. He's so overpowered. Buy him now. I don't have the IP. We'll buy the RP. They make money. That makes sense. This champion, although it's really cool, you turn into a dragon. Who doesn't want to turn into a dragon in League of Legends? I don't see it selling that well for them once people find out she's not that great. And that's my personal opinion. If you think this is the best champion they have ever come up with and I'm an idiot, let me know in the comments. That's fine. I would love to hear your opinion. Maybe I'm playing her absolutely incorrectly. I don't know. Let me know because I am in this with you guys. I'm telling you what I think. Let me know what you think. So this doesn't conclude the game. We do have a little bit of gameplay to get into here. I'm going to go back on the Scion, get a couple more auto attacks. I did kill Trinamir with my Flame Breath there. Going to continue auto attacking. Red buff's going to take him down, and I will turn to Pirate, who will kill me. But the game's not over. You can see the hearts there at 10%, and we still have a bit more of a video to go through. So as far as what roles have I been playing with this champion, I've been playing in the jungle and top lane solo. Both going well, but jungling is much, much faster. And in the top lane, you really don't have that bullying presence to just own the lane, deny them experience, and just dominate creep score. You really don't have those abilities in her kit. She's also very buff dependent. Her only form of CC is pushing people around in dragon form. So if you can pick up a slow with the red buff instead of picking up a Phage or a Frozen Mallet or even a Trinity Force, that's a very good thing to do. I still recommend those items because there will be times when they take your red buff and there's nothing you can do. But player in the jungle, I feel that is the least painful way to go about this terrible experience. If you really want a player, pick her up, try her out. She's fun. Don't get me wrong, she's fun, but I also like winning. And the two really don't synergize. Of course, they're probably going to buff her. I don't see them reworking the kit. I just expect her to get buffs to ratios. And that's about it. So, again, this has been Veruda. Thank you very much for watching. This has been my Shyvana commentary. If you like the video, please click the like button. It helps out a ton. If you have any of those answers to the questions that I put throughout the video, make sure you leave a comment and let me know. And, of course, if you've got a question for me, go ahead and put one down there. And subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. It is starting to storm outside, as you just heard some thunder, so I do need to go ahead and cut this short, but I apologize there wasn't a whole lot of play-by-play shoutcasting going on. I just had a lot to say about the champion, so maybe I will revisit her after the buffs. Just expect them to be coming shortly. Again, this has been Veruda. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you out there.